Right, so on this section, we will be talking about React Router. What is React Router? Well, maybe in the future you want to build an application that has more than one view. For example, just to give you an example, I'm going to go to Facebook page, and if I go to home, let me just go to home. The application is going to load, and of course you're going to get home. But of course you have different options right here. For example, if I go to iOS, it's going to go to a different view, and notice that the URL is changing. So React is to create single page applications. We don't have this behavior. We cannot achieve this right out of the box. We don't have the ability to do it. So we need to add a middleware or extension or library, whatever you want to call it, so we can achieve this behavior. And this is going to be called React Router. It's to create routes. Good. So we will start with a clean project. We're going to start all over again. And we're going to go to the terminal. Notice that I've created a new folder to React Live Cycles. Router, it's going to say router and then live cycles. At the end of this section, we will be talking about live cycles. Don't worry, we will get there. It's going to blow your mind. So navigate. I'm navigated to the same directory. So we're going to do the create React app we did before. It's going to say create React app, and then since I'm inside the directory, I'm going to do space and a dot, just like that. I'm going to press enter. It's going to take a few minutes, so I'm going to pause the video and be right back. Okay, so everything is installed, and just like before, we're going to just delete all the files we have right here and start from scratch. So I'm going to go to the public folder. I'm going to delete everything but the indexed HTML. I'm going to send it to trash. Then we're going to go to the source folder, and I'm going to delete everything but the index.js. So, okay, so I'm going to just, oh, I made a mistake, sorry. We're going to delete everything, move to trash. We only get the index.js. And I'm going to go to the index.js, and if again, we're going to delete everything. So we're going to start from scratch. Very good. So we can, we can practice a little bit. So we're going to be using React Router, and this is a different module, so we need to install it. So we're going to go to the terminal. I'm going to do clear, and we're going to install the router. Let me make this bigger. I'm going to say npm install, and then react dash router dash, and then DOM. And we're going to use a very specific version. It's going to be the 4.2.0. This is the latest version up to the date, the date of this course. So this module keeps updating the whole time. That's why I'm using an app specific version to keep consistency. Of course, if there is a breaking change, I'm going to just update this. So I'm going to do space and minus save. I'm going to press enter, and it's not that heavy, so it should take just a couple minutes. Maybe less, of course, a couple seconds. Minutes, it's too much. So, okay, it's going, almost done. Okay, so installed, and we got no errors. All right, so, we have a different process between how the web works today or how it worked a while ago, and it works in a different way. So let me explain you what happens when we get a request for our application first. Okay, so this is what's happening outside of the world of single-page apps, or let's say multi-page apps. So you're going to get a request for docs.com. It's going to be your domain, your URL. Here, you're going to have your application. So this is going to make a request to a server. The server is going to find a file that belongs to that URL, and then it's going to return that. It's going to give you a response with that file, and it's going to reload the browser, and you're going to have your application. Now, for example, let's say that the user clicks on a link and goes to a different page inside our domain, our application. So then, again, it's going to repeat the same process. We're going to enter to the Shih Tzu page of our application, and it's going to detect a change on the URL. It's going to go to the server. The server will find the file, will reload the browser, and display the file. Good. So this is how it works. How we know that it works on multi-page applications. Now on single page applications, it's going to work a little bit different. So let's go right here. So we have our application inside docs.com. So of course we make a request to this. the server is gonna go to the server, and the server is gonna return our application. Now, our application is gonna be a single page, and it's gonna have different parts. So first, we're gonna have a history. Now, this history is gonna keep a log of when the URL changes. So for example, if I go to docs.com/shih-tzu, the history is going to be listening for that. It is going to grab that URL and store it. It's kind of like a big JSON with all the URLs. So then we have the React router. So the router is going to be checking the history. It's going to be listening for changes. So whenever we get a change on the URL, it's going to detect it. And then when it's detecting everything, it's going to go and find the modules that are linked to that URL. So let's say we have a Shih-Tzu. We're going to go to the module that belongs to Shih-Tzu. And then it's going to say, hey, React, we have a change on the history. So you need to show this component. So React is going to say, oh, okay, so I'm going to grab the component linked to that URL, and then I'm going to show that component. And of course, it's going to give you that view. So this is what's happening behind the scenes with React Router. And now we're gonna learn everything that we need to learn to use React Router and create kind of a multi-view single page apps. Okay, let's go to the next section and start with Router.